Hi, my name is Quanisha, and welcome to my book corner where I talk to you about books or series that I recently read. Today's series or book is on the screen. If you have read it before, continue on with this review. If you have not read it before, please go and read it, girl, and then come on back because I don't want to hear nothing about spoilers, okay? I don't want you to start wanting to tussle because I done said something you ain't read yet, okay? Okay, y'all, so we have a new book. It's called Fertile Valley. There's a 1, 2, and a 3. I think it's just 1, 2, and 3, and it's by Virgil Knightley. I've read from Virgil Knightley before. I don't think I did a review of him. I think I probably did like a long time ago on TikTok. This is not an urban fiction book. It's not anything. It's not a black book, okay? It is definitely gonna be some next shit. It's really just a book that's written by a man for men, to be quite honest. I just happen to have read the last book I read from Virgil Knightley because I'm like, it's written by a man for men, and I just wanted to see what it's giving. You know how men like to be in women's business, so I wanted to be in men's business, and I actually really enjoyed it. So let me get into the book. The male main character's name is what's his name? Pete. He is a sex addict, and when his parents died when he was young, he was raised by his grandfather, and he decided to move to the city to become I don't know what, because he didn't end up becoming it. He had some money from his parents when they died, and he blew through that inheritance doing nothing whatsoever, and then he decided to become a plumber or a all around handyman. And then he found out that his granddaddy died, and so he had to go back. Mind you, he hadn't seen his granddaddy for 8 years. Crazy. And the reason why he didn't want to see his granddaddy, because he didn't want his granddaddy to see that his grandson turned into an ain't shit sex addict, basically, right? Crazy thing is, his mentor, or I forgot who the lady was, the one that's supposed to help you, the advocate, I think it's advocate. Is it advocate? I don't know. Ended up 100 on him. So she broke her promise and he broke his, child. Anyways, he ends up going back to the place where he grew up, called Fertile Valley. Okay? And comes to find out, it's ran by elves, and the goddess, which is the what's this lady? She's some sort of goddess, child. I think in the Viking time she would have been Freya, but she said she don't go by that name anymore. Yada 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 blah blah blah. She gives him 3 quests. Basically, when he was born in Fertile Valley, and she said, okay, this the nigga that I'm gonna take that's gonna help this town, because everybody was moving out of the town. Well, I think all the youngsters were moving out of the town and old people were staying there. So she gave him 3 quests. The first quest was to find all the princesses and all of the pixies, the fertile princesses and all of them. And then the second quest was to get his grandfather's farm back up and running. His grandfather's farm back up and running, and with no modern techniques. And the third quest was to marry 5 wives and repopulate the town. Okay, so basically he was a sex addict for a reason, because he's gonna have 5 wives that he gonna have to fuck on and repopulate the whole village. That's where I'm at. I'm only 15% in, and I'll let you know when something else happened. Okay, so it's the harvest goddess, not the fertile queen. It's harvest goddess, and he is supposed to I guess marry 5 girls, but he's supposed to hunch on and be with most of the women in town to repopulate the town. That is what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to basically have children with every woman that's in town. Well, not every woman, all the young women, basically. He's also supposed to get the fertile princesses and the harvest princesses, fertile princesses, whoever, and their pixies out from hiding and hunch on them as well, because the more he hunches on them, the more he gets powers. And that's what I'm getting so far. He also has a child. I don't know if I said this. He has a child with Queenie, who he used to hunch on 8 years ago. Hadn't hunched on her since. Okay. He has Missy, who's crazy already, and Darlene. Darlene is a country bumpkin. Missy ain't ever had any type of relationship or anything with any boy, man, whatever. So she coming on strong. Okay, she a little bit crazy. However, I feel like he just needs to talk to this lady and tell her to chill the fuck out. Like, we could date, I like you, but you need to chill. That's really all you have to say to her. Like, she's just really excited to be in your space and around you. And all you need to tell her to do is chill the fuck out. Like, I'm going to give you this dick and I'm going to throw it in you. You better know how to throw it back. But you need to chill, Miss Girl. I'm going to give it to you. Relax. Darlene, the same thing. All of them, he's worried. First of all, you are a sex addict. Well, not a sex addict, because the harvest goddess made it her mission to make sure you be able to throw that dick on everybody and come in everybody. Okay, so the fact that you're now sitting here acting like you got morals is out of this world. I guess now that you was told what you had to do with that dick, now you don't want to do what you usually do with your dick, which is just lay it in anybody. And now you told you actually have to lay it in people and create kids. Now you over here acting like you got morals. Sir, please. So Kylie Ann's mama, Queenie, tells him, I don't want her to know you're her daddy, but let's date first and see if we work out so we could be a family for Kylie Ann. Bitch, you ain't fooling nobody. You basically don't want that little girl to know that that's her daddy unless he hunching on you too. That's crazy, bitch. Let that man be a daddy to his damn child. She probably already knows. I want you to start dating me first before we tell her that he's already going around telling people. So that's neither here nor there. But you're not telling your child because you want him to date you, because you've been waiting for him, when you could have just told him that he had a child that you didn't tell him about until he came back. Okay, so baby girl ends up finding out anyway, and she's upset. She was asking why didn't he try to find her. He like, baby, I knew nothing about you, sweetie. So she's looking at the mama like, why didn't you tell him? The mama ain't got no real excuse why she ain't tell that man, to be quite honest. So she was crying and stuff, and he was like, listen, I'm gonna give you a little bit of space and I'm gonna come back and see you. She's like, you're gonna leave me? He's like, no girl, I'm staying here, period. She gonna tell him, oh, don't spoil her. Let him do what daddies do when they have baby girls, and they spoil baby girls. Do you understand me? Good father anyway. Now they got Missy. Oh, and then Apple told Pete about the Dark Queen that lives in the mines, apparently. I feel like that's gonna be another one of his jump offs. And Misty, I feel like, is probably one of her minions, because she got blue hair and red eyes. He already seen a goth girl with red eyes and a spider tattoo or something at the funeral, at his grandfather's funeral. Yeah, I think that's gonna be another one of his jump offs. So I just feel like at this point, any woman that you end up hearing about running into is gonna be somebody your dick is gonna be in at some point in the story. Okay, so Pete takes Missy to the queen of the mines, basically. And she's like, listen, we want you to make sure that the valley is back up to what it used to be. All you need to do is come hunch on us. Okay? He's like, all right, I'm going to make some time for y'all. He's like, but take this cursor for Missy. And he's like, and the queen's like, yeah, that curse ain't going nowhere. But you can hunch on her and, get her pregnant, and it'll work his way out of her system, basically. So he does just that. She ends up getting pregnant. He gets to pick if it's a boy or a girl. He has yet to tell Queenie what he has done. He's told Darlene. Darlene is like, okay, she ain't ever think she went to get married and have kids, but fuck it, she'll have them with him. Period. Come to find out, Darlene finds out her brother Dale, who was mad at Petey for even coming back, claimed he was mad he left for 8 years. Sir, what you really mad about? Anyways, he's the one who basically stole everything from out of Pete's grandpa's house and hidden it away, and Darlene found it. And she's like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Give it the fuck back to Pete so he can put it back into the house. Like, why? What you gonna hold on to it for if it's not your shit? Hello? What's the real question? Child. Okay, I finished book 1. So basically, Dale, the Becca Sue, I think that was her name. She had a flower shop in the town, and she's a priestess to the Queen of the Mines, right? She's the priestess to the Queens of the Mine. And she was slowly trying to she basically cursed Dale so that he could be violent and whatever, and people not like him, and he'd be kicked out of the town. He was already kicked out of the town. He was then kicked out of the town by the harvest goddess. And Becca Sue, was also kicked out of the town for taking away that nigga's free will. Because, bitch, what is you doing? Even though you had great intentions, baby, they ended up being a problem because Dale was kicking poor Pete's ass here and there and everywhere, turning that motherfucker every way but loose. Every single time he seen him, he was turning him every which way but loose. But there's that. He finally tells the harvest goddess, probably finally tells all the women that, he had potential in, being with, that, he was going to have multiple wives, and he was going to have a whole bunch of children with every woman in town. Okay? Well, most women in town. And, they basically were just like, yeah, one of them said she was going to have to think about it, because Darlene said she was going to have to really think about it because her brother was the one that was turning him every which way but loose. Basically, every single time it was on site. Every single time he seen him, it was on site. He was fucking him up. But yeah, Becca Sue had to go the fuck on because she did a little bit too much. You feel me? He still ain't go hunch on the Queen of the Mines and her minions yet, so I'm guessing that's going to happen in book 2. It's a whole bunch of hunching going on because it's called Fertile Valley. The whole point of him being able to hunch all day, every day, is so that he can make more kids. He is supposed to be fertile, period. I think the first time he had unprotected sex was with Missy. Everybody else he would wear condoms with. So she's the first one he technically, well, Queen's the first one he technically got pregnant. But after this whole thing started going on with the harvest goddess, she's the first one that he ended up getting pregnant. And now it's gonna be the rest of his wives. He's supposed to have 5 wives, but he's also supposed to get everybody else there pregnant. So yeah, I'm now 32% into book 2. He finds out that there is something called Shadowkin, and there's something else hidden down deep in the mines, that the Queen of the Mines don't even know what the fuck it really is. And the harvest goddess basically told him, yo, my old friend, not really my friend anymore because I don't really fuck with her like that, told me that something that's dangerous is amiss, and it's that motherfucker that's down there in the mines. He was once in there, covered up, protected, but those over time eroded. The protection eroded over time. So yeah, he might pop out with his cock out. We don't know when. Okay. He's now met with the Courtney. She owns a bookstore, and she also takes care of the library because it's connected to the bookstore, which I think is a smart ass idea, but that's neither here nor there. And we find out that the other girl, what's the other girl's name? Hold on. No, it doesn't get Cindy. There you go. Cindy. She sleeps a lot because she has some sort of power or something. And basically what is given, because of how this book is going, she just needs to be hunched on by Pete and become his wife and also have his children. That's what is given. Every woman in here has a power, some sort of power, but at the end of the day, she needs to get dicked down by Pete and have his children to get to where they need to get to. That's what is given in this book. I'm sorry, Virgil. That's what is given in this series so far. I'm still liking it, but that's what is given. Period. So one of Pete's friends from the city came to drop off a bunch of his shit and basically asked him to come work for him. And Pete was like, nah, I'm good. I'm staying here to be a farmer. And basically they went into the woods and they came across an ogre or some shit, and they started fighting, and they seen the shadow cannon, and there was a whole bunch of shit going on. And Pete had to basically explain whatever and told him, like, when you go back into the city, once you leave the valley, you ain't gonna remember shit. He ends up leaving the next day. That night, or the next night, he ends up getting Queenie pregnant. Misty still got them dark thoughts going on in her head. She's still crazy. Like, Darlene is upset, not upset, but she's a little jelly that Missy and Queenie is pregnant. Darlene, please, okay? Anyways, he started talking to another lady, Christina, I think that's her name. And then the other one, I call her Sleeping Beauty, because all that lady do is sleep. But she trying to get in them drawers too. Anyways, Chris calls Pete on the phone, but Missy picks it up, and he's telling her, hey, I know I'm supposed to have forgotten about what the fuck went down in the valley, but I'm starting to see shit here, and I'm scared they gonna realize that I'm seeing them. I'm scared they gonna see me see them, and I don't want them to be fucking with me. So I know this heifer, instead of she tell Pete what the fuck is going on, she's gonna try to handle shit herself, and that is going to be a problem, because she heard Queenie say, oh, the harvest goddess has bestowed upon me some things, and that how I need to further help Pete out. And you know what she gonna do some shit nobody asked her to do, and end up not helping Pete out at all, but giving him more problems. Yeah. Also, I forgot that Queenie and Pete ended up getting into an argument because Pete was like, you know, Kylie is soon gonna have some chores here. And she's like, oh, you, like, are you telling me or are you asking me? Baby, that's his child too. Why would he have to ask you about giving his child chores? Not only that, he's being nice by allowing you to tell him he could only have his child until 8 o'clock at night, and then he gotta drop her off. The same child that you didn't even tell him about. So every single time you get out of pocket, he gotta remind you, bitch, this is my child also. She ain't just your child. That's my child too. I'm her father. I can make decisions as well. I don't need to run them by you. I'm telling you what the fuck is going on. The only reason why I wasn't a father in her life is because of you, bitch. So don't tell me like you my manager what I can and can't do with my motherfucking child, bitch. I'm letting you know when she come up here, there's gonna be motherfucking chores. Don't tell me what I need to be asking you. You mad because I fixed up her stick, made it look like a sword, and ain't even a sword, and you in a huff and puff about it, talking about he should have asked you. Girl, what? Talk about, oh, cause in your workshop, you know, you have a magical workshop. The baby is going to be fine, okay? That goddess that you like praying to, bitch, she's gonna make sure nothing happens to your child, bitch. Please. You're not even thinking. So he had to check her, and then she was like, you know what, you right, I'm doing too much. You are doing too much, bitch. Get it the fuck together. Do you want him to be your father or not? You want him to continue to be Mr. Pete? Bitch. Okay, so Missy takes her ass down to the Queen Mines trying to get some answers from the Queen of the Mines, and she ends up being trapped by some nigga that's in prison down there. Why as soon as I motherfucking talk, here come the fucking ice cream truck? Anyways, she ends up getting trapped down there with the Queen of the Mines and her pixies because there's a scorpion monster and a shadow king down there, and the motherfucker that's in the prison down there, that the confines of the prison is starting to erode, so it's coming out to play. Okay, so anyways, Pete has to go down there, take care of the shadow king, and also take care of the damn scorpion monster down there. And through the scorpion monster's corpse, the motherfucker that's in the prison down there is telling him, you know, I'm gonna come for you. Basically, you know my name, you shouldn't have spoken, and I'm coming for you and everybody that you love, basically. So now Pete is talking to Courtney, trying to figure out how the fuck he it gets that prison back safe, you know, secured. Okay, I finished book 2. So Pete goes into the spirit world because where that thing is at is called an Impa. So he's called Impa. So Impa in the mines, remember he has a prison in the mines, but he had collapsed all ways to get to where his prison is at. So Cindy, who when she's sleeping is basically in the spirit world. So Cindy is like, hey, you know, you just have to go in the spirit world to get to his prison. That's the back way. You can go in the spirit world. So she's like, I can take you there. I know how to get there. She meets him in the spirit world, hunches on him, ends up getting pregnant with a girl. So I think you got 2 girls and a boy on the way or something like that. So anyways, they get there. He starts fighting Impa, and him and Impa comes into an agreement in which Impa can come to the cookout, basically. Impa comes to the cookout. He's watching him flip the burgers. He's picking out his favorite burger. And then Kylie Ann meets Impa, and now Kylie Ann and Impa is bestie. And Impa decides that he's gonna go back devouring the monsters in the Shadowkin, because the Shadowkin basically lied to him about getting food elsewhere. But now there's another Courtney. She used to live in the village, and she has now decided that she's gonna try to buy up the village, basically for corporate. She's basically corporate, and now Pete has to find a way, I guess, to defeat her. Darlene is upset because she has yet to be pregnant, and she thinks she's infertile. I mean, girl, you probably not infertile. You just, I don't know what's wrong with you, Miss Girl. But yeah, so that's what's going on with Fertile Valley book 2. I'm now going on to Fertile Valley book 3. I feel like, okay, so Queenie Missy is not acting as crazy as she was in book 1 and book 2, right? But Queenie over here, ma'am, this man, and you know that this man has to hunch every fertile woman in the town, and you're asking him why he's leaving the house to go help Cindy with the bar. Talk about, hopefully you just, I'm happy you leaving the house for work and not play. If he is, mind your fucking business. You leaving a family. He's gonna have multiple kids. You don't think that's gonna be part of his family? He already got Cindy pregnant, girl. If he needs to go spend some time with her, then that's what it is. And Pete, you need to put a stop to that. She's acting worse than Missy at this point. Let her know you have multiple women and multiple children on the way. Period.
Come to find out, Christine and that man bear is working. Well, they got this nastiness on them, and they working for basically corporate America, y'all. And they say corporate goddess. The corporate gods done came in and was still in power and carrying on, but they talk about corporate America, okay? And they was working for them, and they was getting some of the pixies and the brownies and all that, carried it on and was infected them, and it was just, it's a whole lot. This cat done farted and it's crazy work. What the fuck is going on here? This is not a part of the book, okay? This is my actual cat that's sitting next to me. He done farted and it's wow. Anyways, back to the book. He done finds all 4 of the pixies now that he's supposed to be looking for. Oh, excuse me, the harvest fairies and their fertility pixies. He's found all of these motherfuckers now. Okay, I'm not gonna hold you. I skimmed through the book, so I didn't even know who else he got pregnant yet. By this time, he's helped Christine get her right mind back, and congratulations to him. I'm gonna finish at my 68%. I might skim some more, but we gonna get through this. Okay, boom. So Christine, right? First of all, he starts fighting with the man bear, right? The man bear, he basically is like, okay, go about your business after the man bear doesn't win the fight. And the man bear is like, I bet I'ma leave, right? And so Impa, right, injustice, right, Christine and the other pixies so that he can clear out the negative energy. Basically, he spits out the pixies, but he had to do what he had to do with Christine a bit longer because she had a stronger entity on her, right? So he spits her out, and she's like, what the fuck is going on? I forgot some stuff. He's like, all right, let me take you back upstairs to clean this slime off. He goes in the shower. She looks at him like, you want to get in? He's like, now my little thingy said have a lot of sex, so why the fuck not? He gets in the shower. He hunches on her, basically impregnates her, right? Boom. Becca Sue done came back somewhere in the book. She came out. Remember, Miss Becca Sue was the problem in the first book. That's the reason why what's her name? Dolores? I don't think her name was Dolores. I think it is Dolores. Wherever D, okay? Her brother, remember, her brother was going off his rocker and trying to kill Pete, but really it was because of Becca Sue trying to get him out of the village. Well, and then the harvest goddess told her she wasn't allowed back until she got her shit together. So finally she came back after a whole situation. And she came back, and Becca Sue was like, damn, how you hunch on her and get pregnant with her before me? And Pete was looking at her like, bitch, did you forget that why you was banned, ho? My dick ain't getting hard for you yet, Miss Girl. Relax. So she's telling Pete like, okay, well, the mind's queen, okay? She wants what's the girl with the Missy? She wants Missy to be her high priestess, okay? I'm guessing Missy is still not off her rocker. Is any of these people showing yet? Are they gonna give birth yet? Is you get everybody pregnant, but how is you gonna be a father to all these children? That's neither here nor there. We're not there yet. Anyways, the man bear decides, bitch, I'm coming back. I want some seconds. So the man bear done gets chokes up poor baby Kylie Ann, if that's her name, Kaylee Ann, something child, the poor baby, and has a knife up to her neck. And P said, oh, this nigga's lost his motherfucking mind. He done lost his mind, right? So he's like, leave my child alone, fight me, don't fight her. Becca Sue comes in and said, oh, nigga, you ain't fucking with my man, right? So they fighting, and then Impa's like, oh, you fuck with my little girl Kylie? You fuck with Kylie, wherever that little girl name is. You fuck with her, oh, bitch, it's on for me and you. I'm gonna give my life a who you gonna give your life for? And now they switching right over here to Cindy Lou, who, you know, the one who like jumps the worlds and all of that. She's currently in the world of spirits. And that's what I'm up to right now. Let me get back to you. Okay, so boom. Cindy was on the other side, right? And Cindy comes in and the emperor's like, okay, bitch, you finna help? She like, I'ma try, right? So she's throwing stuff at her, right? She says, let me go get Christine. Maybe she can help because she got problems. So she go get Christine. They come back. Emperor done became one with baby Knightley in, and they is trying to kill the man bear. And Pete and Sydney's like, no, don't kill him, don't eat him, let him live. For what fucking reason? He done came and fucked around with Darlene, Missy, I think, and Queenie. They done cut them up and shit, almost diced them up in the house and shit. So Sydney's trying to throw her little magic, and then Kylie Ann was trying to do her little due diligence. Well, Kylie Shillip, okay? Kylie Emperor, alright? And then Pete was trying to do his little damn thing. He wasn't doing anything. So Cindy finally picks up the sword and chops that nigga's head off because he wasn't going to stop. There was no saving him. Now, Pete is back in the house sewing everybody up. And Queenie waking up like, girl, he got my baby out there. And Pete was like, no, girl, we handled it already. You was knocked out. We handled it. Don't worry. So they're asking her, you know, you gotta let him out of there. And Kylie Ann said, baby, he's gonna die if I let him out, so he's gonna have to stay here till he gets some energy back. Watch that little relationship, child. Watch it. Let me finish the book, y'all. Okay, I'm finished. So they all had their babies early because the harvest goddess during this summer solstice moved things along a bit quicker. And so they all had their children, and they finally had the opening of the new inn that he started to build with the new harvest fairies and the fertile pixies, or the pixies, whatever the fuck, and his friend Chris that helped him out in the earlier books. Remember Chris? Chris and his fiance Melody is helping with the inn, and then they asked Chris to be the new sheriff of the town. I don't know what happened to the old sheriff. He probably left because everybody was moving out. Remember? In the beginning, the first book, everybody was moving. All the people was moving and leaving because nothing was going on. Everything was dying off, and the farm was no longer providing for the town and shit like that. That's why Pete came in. He became the fertile king, basically, and got the farm back up and popping. Okay, so now Pete got a whole bunch of kids, and I'm pretty sure he's probably going to get all these women pregnant again. Kylie Ann was upset because Emperor finally separated from her, but he had gone back to the spirit world because he still needed to get himself together after that fight and carrying on. Almost died, child. Emperor almost died, and Kylie Ann was sad or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the book, Emperor came back and was like, my baby, basically. So that's the end of the book. This series, I read another Virgil Knightley series before, and I will say this series is very much was written by a man for men. The other one was it could have been written by a man for men, but women could have read it as well. This one is given very much for men. Okay, now, yeah, this series was very much given kind of boring. I'm not even gonna hold you, and the sex scenes wasn't given nastiness as much as I needed it to be. By the way, they also had an orgy for summer solstice. All his baby mamas all got together and hunched on each other and hunched on him. And he hunched on the harvest goddess. Yeah, and a dear lady. I think he hunched on the dear lady too. But he definitely hunched on the harvest goddess, and she's his wife. Well, one of them. So, that was the end of the series. That was the end of the book 3. It took me a while to finish it because I was reading other books. So I'm going to have to do a whole bunch of editing tomorrow. Yeah, child. Y'all, I'm not saying you can't read this book or this series. Just, yeah. See y'all on the flip side.